Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is where we do polygel nails, and so for this set it was a bubble set in a sense. So the products I used was those forms, my size 12 brush, Lanfo's polygel, which is one of my favorites, and Morovan's polygel, which is also a favorite. We're going to start by applying the form. We just go ahead and pre-pinch the tip, line up the center line with the center of my nail, just making sure it's straight down the center. I like to cut on the sides there. It relieves pressure, allowing me to create a C curve under my free edge because my nails are pretty flat and they grow upwards. And so just tighten the form on the nail. Now we can see that this finger is crooked, so it goes to the right. So I tend to pull the form just a tad bit to the left to try to straighten it out. That way the nail don't look crooked. So we're going to go in with the Manicure Pillar base coat, a thin even layer over the whole nail. Give that a 30-second cure. And then we're going to go in with the solid orange Lanfo. This polygel is, again, one of my favorites. It's fairly solid, a good firm in a sense. It doesn't run. It's not sticky. It goes where you need it to go. It don't move. It's really good. Now their last kit, which was the last two kits actually, their nude and their red nude, I believe. Those two are a little bit on the runnier side than their other kits, but overall I do love this brand. We're just going to go in and do an extended nail bed. We're just going to bring it down into a V. I constantly move my hand in different directions, just checking it out from different angles, making sure I have enough or remove some of the product. Remove some of the polygel. And so I'm constantly checking different angles, making sure everything is where it needs to be. Again, we're just going to bring that down into a V, give that a quick cure, and we will repeat the process. I just squeeze it straight out the tube onto the nail plate. When I push that there together like that, I push it together to remove that little air pocket. If I don't, it will have an air bubble there, and we don't want air bubbles. So I always push the polygel together. Just pulling it side to side, down, up, over, just making sure my whole nail is covered. Even though my nails are wide, I still make sure my sides are covered. Flattening out the cuticle area because we don't want it too thick and bulky. And then just bringing down the excess down into a V shape. And so, actually, I want to point out something. If you guys can see, I'm going to slow it up in a second. Here, this is how I hold my brush when I'm using my non-dominant hand to do my dominant hand. And so holding the brush like that allows me to keep the brush steady and firm without my hand shaking in a sense. So when I hold it like that, I can get like clean straight lines, or I'm able to get up in the cuticle area. I just have better control of my brush if I hold the tip. And so maybe you can try that when you're doing your non-dominant hand. Again, we're just going to repeat the process. This was supposed to have been a quick, fast, simple set that didn't require a lot, but this had to have been one of my longest sets ever, mainly because I had purchased a Canon camera on top of a MacBook, and so I had to learn how to use the camera and had to learn how to use the MacBook on top of already learning how to edit the videos and stuff. And so this took me a long time, but I do believe I have all the basics down where I can get this little channel on the road. But anyway, what are we doing here? We're just cleaning out the sides a little bit, bringing it down. Yeah, it's not a whole lot to it. Just making sure it's enough where it needs to be. cleaning up the sides, kind of making them as straight as I can, trying to make sure it looks like the other nails. I did do the pinky off camera. It's a little difficult. Usually have to hold my hand really close to me. So I just wiped it off real quick with some alcohol. I'm going to take this thin wood file that I got from AliExpress to crisp up my sides, try to make that V look a little more sharp. Being that I am using a jelly, I just didn't want it to look, I wanted them to all kind of look the same in a sense. Usually if I do the color blocking, I don't file, but when I do extended nail beds and they all the same, I do file the sides to try to make them all look the same. And I love this file because it's so thin and it is sturdy. And so I will link the description to this file for anybody who is interested. Now we're just going to wipe off all the dust. As you guys know, I don't do any filing at my desk for the most part. And so I'm just trying to make sure I get the dust off the nail, off the form, off my fingers. Now we're going to go in with the jelly. Now this polygel is also a fave, at least for the moment, until something new come out. But I love this brand polygel. It's pretty much the same with the Lanfo. It's solid, firm, in a good way. Like it's not too hard to move it around. It don't require a lot of pressure, but it do stay where you put it. You don't have to worry about it running. And so, because there's been plenty of times where I put this polygel down on my nail plate or the form, and then I had to do something right quick for my daughter, and the polygel stayed where it was, regardless of the temperature. When you're using multiple color polygels, you want to make sure they are connected. So I'm just pushing it up to that solid orange color because we don't want to remove the form and they separate. So just make sure it is pushed up against the other color. I'm just gonna try to give it a little shape. But oh yeah, about this polygel, and so they are pretty good, but do not get me wrong, they do have some that are a little bit more loose or runny, and a few that are kind of sticky. So not all of the polygels will be the same, but overall the bulk of them, the majority of them, are really easy to use and work with. And so I didn't have enough, so I added some more to bring down the length that I needed it to be. I don't, it's 2.5 years later, and I still do not know when I have enough polygel or if I don't have enough polygel. And so a tip for me is when I bring the polygel down, if I have to force it down, then I don't have enough and I'll add some. If I'm moving it down and it's just so much, then I know that I need to remove some. But we're just going to repeat the process for the next finger. Just pat, pat, putting it in place where it needs to go, making sure it is connected to the previous color. We'll do that on both sides. Just pulling it over. It's really not a whole lot to it. Just the best tip I can give you is get comfortable with holding your brush, and you'll be able to do both hands with no problem. Just get familiar with your brush, get comfortable with holding it, and get familiar with the polygel that you're using. So I'm just going to bring that down. I guess I could have removed some of this out of the video, guys. I'm still learning. I'm going to get it. Something else I have to do. So my nail plate for the middle finger is a little shorter than the other fingers, which is weird because it's like the widest finger. But so I usually have to scope this down a little bit longer than the other fingers. So I believe I scoped the pointer finger, the ring finger, and the pinky in a sense down to like a 7, but I had to scope the middle finger down to a 8. And so just another thing, just get familiar with your fingers and the products that you're using and your brush, and you will be okay with doing polygel or just nails in general. But so yeah, back to this. So we're just gonna pat pat, smooth it around. We're gonna do that for all the nails. Now I do want to say that another reason why this set took me so long was because not only learning the new equipment, but I had to take my kid's grandfather to his doctor's appointment. And so I was outside of the hospital filing my nails, and that is why I love my rechargeable e-file. I had to do a little filing outside, so I don't have a lot of that filing footage, but this set just got on my nerves in a sense. But okay, I'm removing the forms now. Underneath, the solid orange wasn't fully cured, and so I'm just going in underneath, making sure patting the orange back into place, making sure it's not on the jelly. Be sure to wipe your nails off underneath, on top, down the sides, at the tip, because they will be sticky after you cure it, and so you have to wipe them off. This is just how I clean my brush, nothing special. I just dip it in the alcohol, wipe it a few times, and put it away. Now this file here, I absolutely love, love, love this file. This one and along with the wood one. This file is so sturdy and strong, like it does not bend. Like, of course, if you snap it in half, it'll break, but it do not bend. It cut through the polygel with no problem. It gets that shape instantly without a whole lot of work. And so I love this file. I believe I got these ones from Amazon, but I could also link those ones if anybody's interested, but I definitely recommend this green file for shaping. So this is my general shaping. I usually just do a quick shaping. I do the sides and in between my sides and my, I'm sorry, the sides of my finger and the nail. I'm just going in with this thin one, getting in between and underneath. You want to make sure you file it up where it's nice and straight, because the nail will still look wide if you don't do that. So I do that on both sides, on all of the fingers. Whatever I do on one finger, I do on the other. Okay, so while I was filing, I noticed that I had a low spot or a dip on this middle finger. And so I went back in with just polygel and filled the dip. You don't need to use base coat first or top coat or any gels or anything. You can just take that uncured polygel, go right over top of that cured polygel, and put it where you need it to go. Just do your best to blend it in, because regardless of how well you smooth it, it still will need a little bit of filing, retouching, cleaning it up. So I'm just filling in that dip because we want the nail to look right. I don't want that dip, and regardless of how much filing I do, I will still have that dip, and that dip will show through your top coat. If you have any dips, low spots, high spots, it will show. Okay, so I went in with a coarse ceramic bit, cone bit, I believe it is. Yes, a cone one. And this is just removing the bulk of the product, just taking off all of the extra, because when I use the forms, I can't really tell if it's too much or if it's not enough. And so I do tend to build them up really thick and then have to file them a lot. But I enjoy the filing part. And so, okay, I'm using my pinky to balance. So if I put my pinky up against my hand with the e-file, now this e-file is a wireless one. The battery and everything is inside of it. So this hand file is, I'm sorry, this e-file is heavy. And so, and plus it does have a light vibration. And if I use my pinky, it helps me to have better control of the e-file. Again, my favorite files, I'm just going in and cleaning up the shape. I did not get to get a lot of clips of the filing due to being, running my errands. And so I did get the last little bit of it. I'm just going up and down on the file, opposed to side to side or back and forth. Up and down give me clean, straight lines. And so if you're still struggling with shaping, try going up and down on a nail. Just hold the file, take the nail, and go up and down. That will give it that clean, straight line. Then I'm just going in with this one on the tip. Same process. I'm going up and down instead of side to side. I did use this file to file over the whole nail. I just don't have that footage. Just um so after I do all of the filing, I wash my hands with dish soap. So after my prep and after my filing, I wash my hands with dish soap. I take a little scrub brush and scrub off any little extra dust or dirt and oils, whatever may be on my hands. I like to wash all of that off with the dish soap, so my hands are clean and dry. And there's the finished product after filing. Then we're going to go in with just some top coat and a thin lining brush. I just made some bubbles underneath of the nail, and just put them, for me, I just put them on it anywhere in random areas, constantly checking just to make sure I had enough or not too many. And so I did that on all of the nails. This was more of like a fun set. And I think if you have fun with your nails, don't take it too seriously, you would get through your set so much easy. Um, so yeah, I just did that on all of them. Just put the little bubbles underneath. I would do this set again, maybe in blue. So this top coat I got from Amazon. It wasn't nothing special. I still love Vanellisa's top coat. I got this more so because the bottle was pretty, but it's not bad or it's nothing special. It's just top coat. Just be sure to top coat the whole nail down the sides. Just make sure the whole nail is covered with top coat, especially when you're polishing. Make sure you have top coat over the whole nail. I wipe down the sides just so I can keep my shape. And then I'm just going to randomly put some rhinestones um, just on it anywhere. I kind of picked out 3 different shades with 3 different colors in a sense and just put them on there. I didn't want to put them down on the bubbles because that would defeat the purpose, but I do not feel as though I'm at a point in this journey where I can just do basic nails without the rhinestones. I'm not that confident yet. But what I will say is I'm so proud of my shaping on this set, being that it was done on the dominant hand. My shaping usually be a little wonky or off, but I'm super proud of the shaping on this set. But yeah, just align your rhinestones wherever you want to align them. Put them on there, give that a full cure, and here's the final set. They were very pretty. Um, but I want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, just ask. And please subscribe or give me a like so we can grow this channel. Thanks, guys.